Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Hey, it's Mutants and Masterminds Monday. It's your weekly program all about mutants and masterminds, and the only superhero TTRPG ever made in existence, which is bizarre and hotly contested by those who are dumb. But hey, chat, can you hear us?
Chat, can you hear us?
StreamYard made a change to things, and it erases all the prior chat that went on before we. It's brand new.
It may not be a change for the better.
No,
they can hear us. Huzzah.
Hey, good. There we go. Look at that. A flood of Hear what? Yes, we can hear you. Yes, says
Pook, you are the exact opposite of helpful.
That's exactly right. As per the usual. But we did have a lot of very entertaining conversation before we began the program about 2 hours before the show started.
Right.
These folks are committed or something. Hey, Raymond's here. Paul's here. It was Paul's birthday yesterday. Paul is...
Happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah,
happy birthday, Paul.
Paul, how old are you?
Hopefully old enough to know better than to answer that question.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is Mutants Masterminds Monday. Devious says or should be committed. Exactly right. Yeah, William Lang's here. Squire's here. Nice. It's the whole gang. Nate's here. Good to see you, friend. Nate's calling in, chatting in in a whole nother state now. Like Kansas or
but yet he remains in the state of excitement.
That's true. In a state of absolute delirium. Doc Void says, happy birthday, Paul. Yes, indeed. Paul says, thanks very much, folks. I have moved on from being... Oh, you dang it, Nate, you little trickster. I forgot to turn that sucker off.
Reminding you every time to turn that off that you never do.
He reminds me $1 at a time. Nate, thank you so much for that super sticker. You are problematic. Some Good Soup says, yo. It was also Kami's kid's birthday some time ago.
Birthday.
Who's that?
That's some time ago. Well, it was a lot of people's birthday some time ago.
It was. That is very true. It was my birthday some time ago. Dance for your seagulls, Troy. Listen, Devious, we're only dancing for thumbs. Speaking of dancing for thumbs, have you met these two guys? Hang on. And here they are now.
Trying to decide if I dance for thumbs or not.
Well,
yeah, that can be taken in all kinds of different ways.
Well, in context.
But this is a family program.
It is a family program. We are talking about thumbs up, like here, thumbs up for the stream.
Yes.
And we hope. Listen, I want everybody just to migrate over to YouTube. Just come and hang out with us on YouTube. I think that Facebook is just, there's just so many faces.
Right.
YouTube.
You're watching this on LinkedIn. Come to YouTube.
Come to YouTube.
You're watching this on LinkedIn. Get help.
Oh, I am streaming to LinkedIn. This is all really good for our look, for our brand, our personal brands. I mean, gentlemen, good to see you as always. This is a lovely Monday to be talking about Mutants Masterminds and near future cyber tech.
Yeah, it's a wonderful topic that we're talking about today.
Now, Steve, you gave us required reading. Those QR codes will take you to Gadget Guides.
Recommended reading.
Required by them now in bulk. No, of course, recommended reading. And then the Gadget Guide computers to kind of get a little sense of the stuff that we've got already in the library. So let's talk about it. I mean, is this... What are we talking about? Actual gadgets or themes for an entire thing? Are we talking about all of it?
Well, I mean, the basic genre is that at some point in the near future, we will have all kinds of cybernetic enhancements to give us, bionic arms and the ability to plug into computers and, all sorts of other technological capabilities that have been the subject of, the cyberpunk genre since the 80s.
Yeah.
And have been pretty much a staple of the superhero comics even before that,
Sure.
with characters who are cyborgs in one form or another and have some kind of technological abilities built into their bodies.
Yeah. Right. Right. What are some iconic titles or books? I'm thinking personally, but they're movies too. And
Well, Cyborg
Mhm.
springs to mind based on Steve's.
Right. I was going to say probably the archetypal character in that regard.
yeah, yeah. I would think of like I mean, is Snow Crash too far? Is that too far feature?
Oh, in terms of cyberpunk books,
Yeah.
no, Snow Crash is pretty near future
Yeah.
as far as that goes. Not heavy on the cyberware. Snow Crash is much more computer tech
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Ooh,
Um,
great stuff in chat. $6 million
oh
man,
yeah,
Bionic Woman,
yep,
Mhm.
Deathlock, Cyborg, $6 million man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, Deathlock's that's a good one.
all pretty classic examples.
Yeah, absolutely. Elon and his brain chips.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think to get a brain chip, you have to, yeah, okay. So I'm reading here. Seeing what we've got. I've been reading William Gibson's Sprawl trilogy recently. Are you familiar?
Hmm. Yeah, that's one of the classic works of cyberpunk.
What's solar punk? Sorry, solar punk, and diesel punk.
So solar punk is a genre that is focused on more sort of ecological technologies, and the
Oh,
notion of usually a more far future rather than near future setting that has evolved, an extremely eco-friendly technological infrastructure
oh,
where
interesting.
everything is solar powered, and there's a lot of biotech and a lot of living in harmony with the environment and that sort of thing.
Jay Gray says
Diesel.
solar is optimistic. Is it not
Hmm.
post-apocalyptic? Is it like we came into our sort of?
Well, sometimes it's post-apocalyptic in the sense of fixing things
Oh, fair
after
enough. Yeah,
things have
yeah.
gone really badly.
Yeah.
But it is fairly optimistic, as a
Okay.
genre.
Diesel punk is what if the 1950s, but with robots?
Yep,
Hey,
pretty much.
I like it.
Fallout is diesel punk.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, hey, I want to say real quick hi to Claude. RC's here too. Our good buddy RC. David Bullock's here. Good to see you, friend. Who else did I see? Of Gods and Game Masters here too. Love that. We're going to be talking about that little entity in the what's in the tank towards the end of the
Hmm.
show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And did I just say hi to Squire? I don't want to
Don't know
miss
that you
anybody.
did.
Sorry, friends.
Yeah,
Some
Hi,
say
good
hi
Squire.
students
now.
here too. There we go. Sorry. Some Forges tech in the Krakoa era of Marvel's
Hmm.
Mutants is pretty solar punky. Okay.
Is pretty solar punk. Yep. Biotech is a biggie for solar punk, so that sort of thing is definitely right in there.
Interesting. Okay. Solar punk is a new one on me. That's very cool.
Hmm.
Cthulhu tech. I like the sound of that. Okay,
Cthulhu
so
punk.
Cthulhu
Yep.
punk. Yeah, I think we're just really getting into it here, aren't we?
There's a lot of punks in this genre.
Right.
Oh, Max Headroom. Okay. Well, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy
There
that.
was a Max Headroom TV series.
There
There
was.
absolutely was before your time,
Yeah, well before your
but
time, you youngster.
classic cyberpunk stuff.
Awesome. Okay. And so when a GM or a player wants to, I mean, I'm imagining that there's even sort of a near future cyber tech kind of hero or villain that you could
Oh,
create,
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
Absolutely.
what are we worried about, or what are we thinking about when we're putting these pieces of the puzzle into your game?
Well, I think the thing with cybertech and all of its related stuff is whether or not you're talking about the technology, which is one thing, or the
Yeah.
cyberpunk genre, which is another. The two are related, and the technology features very prominently in cyberpunk as a genre. But cybertech does not necessarily imply cyberpunk. There are plenty of characters who are cyborgs and have cybernetic technology in superhero comics who are not cyberpunk characters at all. And so the two don't have to go together. They can. And you just have to consider to what degree you want them to. Are you running a cyberpunk setting with people with superpowers, where the characters are the sort of cyberpunk rebels against a corrupt or totalitarian corporate state? That's a fun campaign concept, but it's not the typical M&M campaign either.
Yeah, I also see an opportunity storyline wise to have a bit of the future come back to the past to warn you of the dangers ahead or something,
That's a classic. That's a classic comic trope.
Yeah. I think there's let's see. Sorry, I jumped here. David Welk says, I think there's also a bit of how much of the focus is on tech. Yeah, sure. Let's see. Cyberpunk kind of implies whether the futuristic tech is readily and commercially available to everyone.
Yes, in some regards, although one of the big themes of cyberpunk is that, the future is distributed unevenly. And it may not be, in fact, readily available to everyone. But, the other sort of underlying theme is that the street finds its own uses for things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times secondhand cyberware or stuff that's stolen or bootlegged or what have you is a big element of it.
Oh, yeah. Davies brings up an interesting notion, too. Cybernetics may be the only way that normal humans can compete with meta-humans. Like, I could see that as a plot point.
It has also been played as a point.
Your gray market, black market implants that you get, in the alley or whatever. Repo the genetic opera comes to mind. I am not familiar with that.
They might be commercially available to the middle class, but the middle class is now 1% of the population in Cyberpunk universe.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Certainly available.
That's sort of another one of the underlying themes that shows up in the Krakoa era of X-Men, is that the advancement of technology is basically humanity's only sort of ability to compete with evolutionarily with mutants. But technology essentially ultimately leads to rogue AIs, and humanity basically creates their own extinction one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Ruiz says, as opposed to superheroes where costume people can have high-tech items, but we don't see shield flying cars, unstable molecules, etc., available widely. Okay.
Yeah, generally speaking, in a superhero setting, cybertech is going to be rare, and it's going to be those one sort of unique things that some characters have, but you're not going to see on sale. As far as that goes. And it's important to note that in M&M terms, and we talk about this in Gadget Guide, cybertech is basically just a power descriptor in M&M terms. Cybertech, although it is technology, isn't equipment. It isn't a device, because they're actual parts of the character's body. And if it can't be removed by anything short of surgery, or severing the character's arm, then it doesn't count for the removable flaw. So far as that goes, it doesn't count as anything other than basically just a technological superpower.
Real quick, I want to say, Sean Holland, you were right on time, friend. I'm sorry you had a rough day, but I'm certainly glad you're here to kind of escape a little in some near future cybertech. Oh, you were going to say, Alex? Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a complication. Or
absolutely.
A complication you offer to the players as, hey, I'm going to take away your arm. Do you want this complication?
Yeah, just as you would any complication where you take away one of the character's powers.
Yeah, interesting. So I'm not I mean, I guess the name really does sort of describe it, but RC was talking about Repo, the genetic opera, and said general concept of Repo is companies will lease you body parts, and if you don't return them, then they come to your home and take them away. I don't know if it feels a little modern day to me. let's see here real fast. I just want to say, VR tech. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yep. Common element of the cyberpunk genre as well. We talk about that in the Computers Gadget Guide.
Yeah. Hanover Fist says cyber cosmetic
Absolutely.
enhancements and how widely they're used will have a major impact on the cyber reality of your game too. Something to consider when world building. Yeah.
Yep. Indeed.
Oh, wild. So some good soup says, what about cyberware, but it's plants instead of technology? Yeah.
That's where we get into the biotech sort of aspect of things. And we actually have
Ooh.
as it so happens, we have a gadget guide on that too.
Oh, do we really? Okay.
That talks about different sorts of biotechnology and gene hacking and gene splicing, and the notion that you could incorporate the traits of other life forms, into a human or another life form to give them superpowers, basically.
Very cool. Oh,
No, I
yeah.
want botany punk to be a thing.
Botany
Botany
punk.
punk would be a great thing.
Yeah, I think you
I'm
just
here for it.
invented a genre. So am I.
Poison ivy with a mohawk. It's gonna be great.
I love that. I'm gonna pull up the. I'm gonna add the biotech to the to our little tableau of required reading.
Yep.
So is there something about I wonder if there's ever a concern about sort of it's always fun to go and play in a space that you enjoy. Is there some tropes that might be a little too tried and true? I mean, is there something new to be done in this space?
Well, that's the thing to consider when you're dealing with cyberpunk as a genre. A lot of the times, the superpower stuff works the way it worked in most other Mutants and Masterminds games. It's the social issues and the discussions about modern day themes and topics. That's where you're going to get into we need to have a conversation with the players before we sit down to talk about this stuff, because there is a lot of baggage with dealing with cyberpunk, because it sort of predicts the future by commenting on the present.
Right. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And in some ways, cyberpunk is kind of the opposite genre of superheroes. In that it's superheroes, generally speaking, have we are going to preserve the status quo, we're going to protect society, uphold the law, all of that sort of a thing. Cyberpunk is pretty much the exact opposite of we're going to burn it all down. The laws are all unjust. Everybody who's running everything is right. The system is not broken. It's operating as it's intended to oppress everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
and excuse me, and that is a good question to ask yourself. Like, are people looking for an escape and not just a reminder that we are in late stage capitalism and et cetera, et cetera?
Sure. I mean, a cyberpunk game can also be quite cathartic if you want to stick it to the man. As far as that goes in a fantasy environment, but like Alex says, you have to be very clear on what it is you're offering.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm the person who calls it hate stage capitalism because it's the worst.
Right.
The games that I run in the genre would be infused with that punk element, and I would want to tell my players that before they sat down to play that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, and that's fair to say. It's not a judgment on if you want to do that, but checking in with your people is always a smart thing to do. Yeah.
Right.
Always.
Awesome.
And somebody did bring up a very important discussion about ableism and the idea of being less human when you're covered in prosthetics, or being more human when you're full of prosthetics. So that is definitely a theme to consider when introducing the concept to your players.
I want to think about that for a minute, not because I disagree with it, but because it's opening some synapses are firing that is really very interesting. Who said that?
Of Gods and Game Masters.
Okay, yeah. So definitely with cyber, you have to consider ableism and the idea of being less human. Yeah, that is really very interesting, and not something that I would have considered, given that that I am not experiencing that. That's a very interesting. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, you give me my brain a wrinkle.
We are fortunate, at least in that regard, that that type of ableism is often exploited as a game mechanic or a balancing mechanic in some game systems. Essentially, the notion that you become less human as you get more parts replaced
Yeah.
in one fashion or another. But fortunately, because Mutants and Masterminds is a point-based character build system, we already have a game balancing mechanic for having, superpowers essentially, which is basically what cyberware is.
Yeah.
So we actually don't need that plot element as a game mechanic in any way. It doesn't serve a function, so it's actually relatively easy to be aware of it and to not use it.
Got it. Yeah, that's great. I love adding brain wrinkles. Well, I appreciate it too. Appreciate that a lot. So let's see. Looking at chat real fast. Don't forget that Batman Beyond is cyberpunk.
Mm,
I'd say
Batman
it's near
Beyond,
future cyber tech, but not necessarily
yeah,
cyberpunk.
it has some elements. But I agree with Alex. I don't know if Batman Beyond is all that cyberpunk.
There's punks in it, but the person solving the
Yeah.
problem is still a billionaire.
Yeah.
Right. It's still kind of law and ordery, right?
Yeah. And it's noteworthy that Terry McGinnis's Batsuit, which certainly does give him superpowers, isn't cybertech. It's a battle suit. He takes it off. He doesn't have any powers. So it's a little more traditional superhero in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah. Some good soup brings up RoboCop, though. I think RoboCop is a good example of
RoboCop, on the other hand, very cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
Yes, Terry McGinnis is not a billionaire, but he couldn't be Batman Beyond.
Yeah, but the cranky old guy still is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. There's a recent comic series called The Tin Can Society that's trying to talk a bit about ableism and superheroics. The writer pointed out that what is the Iron Man but a full body prosthesis? Yeah. Says
Sure.
Claude.
Sure. I mean, that's a classic genre trope in one form or another. There are plenty of, characters with disabilities who have them compensated for by some kind of tech or the like.
Squire just
Right.
killed me.
Squire with the Robocop died and they
Yeah.
still made him go to work.
Yeah.
Go to work. Yeah, that's pure cyberpunk right there. Death will not be an excuse.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
See you on Monday, right, Alex? I got shot a lot. Okay, that's fine. You have a to-do weekend.
That's right. You won't remember a thing. Yeah. So yeah, interesting. What do you think? I love one of my favorite things about Mutants Masterminds is complications, and
Mhm.
and I just
Mhm.
it's such an interesting, I want to say almost elegant kind of addition that really feeds the role play and gives people an opportunity to, give themselves a little soft spot, a little kind of thing that they
Mhm.
can react to, a little
Yep.
failure of a flaw is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What are some of the cyber tech flaws that you would incorporate into a complication?
Power loss is right there, where
Oh,
you
yeah.
lose access to your powers when you don't have access to your cybernetics.
Right.
There's also, and again, this is dependent. What's cool about near future cyber tech is that it can be set dressing for a lot of different kinds of stories. So you can do like a Batman Beyond superhero story. You can do a noir Blade Runner story. You can do a cyberpunk rebellion story, and all of those come with their own sorts of different kinds of complications that could be grafted on.
Yep. Indeed.
Addiction comes up a lot in cyberpunk.
Oh, it sure
It
does.
does.
Yeah.
You can make a metaphor to maybe the cyber tech runs on a specific type of fluid that has additional side effects to the human body attached to the machinery.
Mhm. Yep.
Or relationships around getting access to the tech, or favors owed to people who provided the tech for you in a back alley sort of way.
Oh, right. Like
Right.
the repo
Yeah,
notion too. Yeah.
characters requiring specific kinds of care or maintenance or the like are certainly common complications, especially for cyberpunk. Very common complication is, of course, that you simply owe someone. Um, Oftentimes, cyber tech is expensive, and characters who have a lot of it basically have mortgaged their own bodies,
Yeah.
and they owe someone a lot. So that usually means that they are paying off a substantial debt.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also sort of I feel like there's kind of an emotional mental toll,
Mm-hmm.
or some kind of you need to take some kind of a drug so that you're not so you don't reject your implants, or that kind of
Some
thing.
kind of
Yeah.
something along those lines is pretty common. I think that's where complications shine pretty well in that regard, because you can make things like so-called cyberpsychosis basically a voluntary complication. If a player wants to have a character who's dealing with those kinds of issues, they can bring those complications into play. But if other players don't want to, they don't have to. The system
Right,
doesn't
right.
require it.
Yeah, there can be massive corporations that are in charge of big parts of the setting that interfere with people's lives, like their parents are employed by that company. So if they find out that the
Sure.
hero who's opposing them has family members involved, it could be bad news.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
That's a good
you could also do, for Cyberpunk, you can do all kinds of dark comedy complications if you want. What happens when somebody puts out an update for your cyberware and
Oh,
it
sure.
works it, like,
Some kind of interference with your, something, and
right,
and someone's controlling
you
you with
know,
a, yeah.
Create the
the,
affliction Windows Vista.
211.4, version of my operating system sucks. Like,
Right. Windows 300. Yeah, yeah.
There's a 2 in my logic code, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
right.
Yeah, and that I could also see that being a sort of a good plot point as well. Who's breaking the code?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and you
Right.
have to think about, like, companies today use planned obsolescence as part of their production.
Right.
Oh my
schedules.
gosh,
Like,
that's really true.
what does that
right?
mean when you've got eyeballs and they plan for your eyeballs to go out in 2 years? So you have to get new
Oh,
ones.
and yeah, how the heck does
Yep.
that play out in the future?
Oh, Paul, Jinx. We thought the same thing.
Yep. Exactly.
Let me see here.
Yeah, and then there's the anxiety
Oops.
of oh, my camera's been
How did that
unplugged.
happen?
How did my
Oh,
camera get unplugged?
Oh,
right.
Steve
Alex,
is
have you been
streached.
paying your camera tax?
I've not been.
Is this your complication?
Today's stream brought to you by.
Yeah, that's a great. I think a great mention. Jay Gray talks about Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
That's a good one.
A lot
That's
of
a
that
good
stuff.
one. Manufacturer recalls. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, look at
Not that camera. That's that camera.
Mhm.
that. Help! My cyberware is no clipping through wall. That's right. That's right. I worked on a game called The Matrix Online.
Mhm.
It wasn't, I would say, the best video game ever, but it was a lot of fun. And that, so basically, I ran a team of actors, and we would go in
Mhm.
as Morpheus and Niobe, the Merovingian. We play those characters, and
Right.
there was a bug that we called meat wadding. But basically, what it did is there was this. It was just something wrong with the skeletons of your avatar, and basically
Mhm.
your arms would slap your torso into your pelvis, and you kind of looked like a weird meatball, and that was just so hilarious that we actually made that into an actual animation. That when the game
Mhm.
closed down, we meat wadded everybody, so it was very hilarious. I bring that up only because that comment reminded me of meat wadding. But
Right.
also the Matrix is a kind of a good, it fits here somewhere, doesn't it?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it definitely feels cyberpunky, even though a lot of the super tech stuff is outside of the real world that the
Yeah,
Yeah.
players
right,
experience
right.
on a regular
Yeah.
basis.
The Matrix is a really good example of the notion of an extended virtual reality. If you want to play around with that as a notion, and the some of the stuff that the computer's gadget guide talks about and the like, and you could do, Mutants and Masterminds campaign that takes place entirely in a virtual reality,
Yeah.
where superheroes aren't real, but really, really, really realistic MMOs where you play superheroes are, and maybe the players of those games discover there's more to it than just a game.
That is
That could
a
be
great one.
an interesting campaign, or if you want to play the really weird flip side of it, superheroes discover that the world they live in isn't real, and everything is actually they're living in a virtual reality, and they're not who they think they are.
That offers
Yeah.
a lot of fun meta opportunities as a game master, I think.
Ooh,
where
describe that a bit, Alex. I
somebody-
figured that. Yeah.
somebody outside of the simulation is able to mess with it in ways that interact with the
Mhm.
game mechanics specifically. So, like,
Right.
oh, I've taken away the magic power. Everybody who has magic powers is Fubard for the
Right.
next adventure. Or for the rest of the adventure, having a higher power level actually makes you weaker. And we're going to go back to Thaco or something silly like that. Just ways to get
Right.
in and start tweaking with things.
Oh yeah, Nate, Blade Runner for sure. Absolutely for sure.
Mhm.
Rebel Moose mentions the remote disabling of cybernetics, or if police have access to tech that
Sure.
can be remotely shut down, or a hacker.
Mhm.
That's another power loss complication example.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gossip Keymaster says, no, not Thaco.
Sorry, I can't be a superhero. I don't have a European adapter for my electronics. I have to go
Right,
back to America.
Devious says, we'll return your cyber ads to normal momentarily. Please enjoy this ad for Juicy, the Juice Bear.
Mhm.
It's a deep cut, my friend. Deep
Running
cut.
an in-game ad would be amazing.
It would be.
That is something I want to do as a GM. I'm writing that down.
just to kind of break in with it.
Yeah,
like
so they know that something's up. Like that's the
Yeah.
I love it. Let's see. Gene says, how about the cyberware is only safe for 20% of people and countries want them to only work for them? Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I bet you could really get into some fun geopolitical stuff.
Sure. You could do an interesting, campaign or, scenario concept where there is just a small percentage of people that the cyber tech works for. And then you've got a really odd, it's the same as any scenario. Basically, you've got a source of superpowers that's only accessible to a small percentage of people.
Oh,
It's going to generate all kinds of interesting, ideas in terms of who gets those powers, who controls those people, who controls their access to those powers.
Right. Save the kid.
All of that sort of thing.
That kind of thing. That kid is a kid that can withstand the technology. We must
right.
Yeah.
Right. Therefore, we must have control of that person.
Right. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I don't love that. I mean, I love that. The plot.
Yeah.
Kidnapping in general, I frown on. Yep. Let's see. Superpowers always have a geopolitical implications. We're covering that Wednesday on my stream. Oh yeah. Yep. We should make sure you give us the time and stuff on that. And I hope you're putting those dates up in the tank. Because we would love to watch it. Ads being cybernetically fed into your subconscious. Ugh, yeah, they'll do it.
Right.
Devioushearts says, funny idea, Batman up against cyborgs, but buys the Bioware company just to make their cybernetics freeze up on command. Sure. Okay, yep. So Tempo says, hey Tempo, good to see you, my friend. Tempo says, well, there's Shodan using these giant machine spiders that use people's heads to power them. Wow. While their bodies are still, I need to read these things before I start reading them.
Well,
yeah.
That sounds like some 40K shit.
Yeah, there's some definite body horror elements of cybertech. So.
Yeah, there is. Oh, that's very true, Paul. We do have
yes,
Lazarus. Yeah.
Yeah.
World
we have a couple.
Very cyberpunk setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Slice for Fantasy Age is really good too, or for Modern Age is really good.
Oh yeah, it is. Indeed. Real good. Let's see. Oh my goodness, Nate. Let's not go there. John Pologic says, John, I know I'm saying your name wrong. It just feels good saying Pologic.
No, John Pologic is right. Pologic's right.
Is it right?
Yeah,
John, let me know, John, because I
correct.
Ready Player One. Yeah, that's a fun example of extended VR future settings. Yeah, absolutely. DC's currently finished Outsiders series had that meta tech idea in it. Mm-hmm. Alex, where I thought you were going to go with the meta is heroes wake up and realize that they have been in a simulation the entire time, but they're really not in the simulation, but they're being tricked that they are, and all that.
That's also a common genre trope is that they go through this whole process of discovering that the world is a lie, but actually they are being tricked into believing that.
Lie. Yeah.
Right.
Those are kind of a fun, and especially given all of the Easter eggs and tricks and things that you kind of leave in the world, it seems like a really fun opportunity
Hmm.
to mess with some people.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite episodes of Young Justice, where they're in the simulation for where they're programmed to fail and how they react to
Hmm.
that. And
Uh,
that was done to them by people who care about them, presumably.
so we do talk a lot about sort of the oligarchy kind of uh, future. I really love this solar tech or solar punk. I love the notion of that. It does leave me wondering, like, what are some innovations in this concept or in this space that we can, sort of new twists on a story, or what would you two do to kind of change something up, which is difficult because both of you have done so many stories and have played so many, and have GM'd so many games. How do
Hmm.
you look for a new twist? Or do
Yeah,
you?
I think the easiest, and this is hard, but I think the easiest hard way to do this is to take the idea of mass cybernetics and then find a source for those cybernetics that's unique. Sort of like solar punk is mostly biotech focused, or
Hmm.
finding like a crystal tech version or a clockwork origin, or some sort of divergent point that leads to all of this technology and influences the way the technology is iterated, and you can work from there to come up with different themes and different story beats that are unique.
I
So I
like
think
that.
blending a
Agree with
fun
that.
genre and blending a fun or power source origin, I think, is the best way to start tackling that.
Yeah. I mean, in superhero settings, the two classic tropes of incorporating science fiction elements are either that it comes from outer space, and you can model any other planet or culture or the like on any science fiction you want. So if you want a species of solar punk aliens, who have that kind of technology and that sort of society, you can introduce them as either benevolent or potentially a threat or neither one, potentially, in need of help. If their solar punk technology is this unique biotech that is now subject to some kind of disease or natural, attack from the
Mm.
outside, and they need the heroes to help them. That's one possibility. The other, big trope, for superhero settings is parallel worlds. So you can
Oh yeah.
always have the characters visit an alternate Earth, or a time travel, which is essentially the same
Mhm.
thing. Um, you can have them visit a far future or alternate Earth that is a solar punk world, and experience what that's like. Um, but it gives you the opportunity to mess around with that setting with a sort of a minimum of consequences, because it doesn't necessarily influence what's going on present day Earth.
Yeah, and if
Yeah,
they like the
there's
stuff in those alternate worlds, you can let them spend PowerPoints to get some of that stuff before they come back,
Yep.
and that can inform how the story goes forward related to that stuff.
David Bullock
Yeah.
mentions, have you covered semi-sentient cyber tech?
Not
AI,
that much, but
Yeah, what
yeah,
is
AI is definitely a big element.
yeah, I
yeah,
love.
Well,
go ahead. Sorry. I'm just thinking about what that could possibly mean.
the key things with AI, in a cyberpunk setting, are whether or not whether or not AIs are suitable player characters, or something that's player character adjacent, like a sidekick or the like, something the players control, or if AIs are better reserved game master territory for non-player characters, and the degree to which, AIs in the genre range from essentially godlike beings that have complete control over every piece of computer technology in the world if they want it, to
Mm.
relatively, honestly, just comic relief for the most part. Like, in Valiant comics, War Mother has a sentient, rifle, who's primarily around to just give her someone to talk to and to be smart mouthed.
I was gonna say that sounds like yeah.
I mean,
Did you say
occasionally serves a function, but is largely there for comic relief.
Did you say War Mother?
War Mother.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that character.
Lends a whole new meaning to the term smart gun.
Yeah, she is mother. She is war.
She is mother. She is virus. Yeah, sure, Nate. That's something that's very interesting. And then there was let's see, Nate's dreaming up a tugboat typhoon adventure. We had an AI PC and an actual Mutants and Masterminds LARP.
I want to go to a Mutants and Masterminds LARP.
I do not. No, I do. Right? I mean, I want to watch.
I want to come play Daedalus and get kidnapped.
a lot of the examples of AI that folks are giving in the chat, like Deathlock's Skull AI or the Green Lantern rings being artificially intelligent, is largely a game master plot device for things like the insight use of hero points or moments where the game master can just simply supply exposition, via the AI, where your alien power ring can tell you, well, this is what's going on, and here's where you are, and all of those sorts of just downloads of information that are handy.
I'm looking in chat. There's a couple T-shirt ideas that I really like. Of Gods and Game Masters said, multiverse it. And then William Lang said, I multiverse everything. I kind of want that on a T-shirt. That'd be awesome.
Right.
Yeah, Claude mentions Fai equals AI that gets infested with fairies, and I'm here for that.
Oh, so am I. Fun. That's solid. That's a really
I was trying to think of other origins for like AI and cybernetics and stuff. And Chainsaw Man came to mind, where he has a demon who is a dog with a chainsaw for a head that merges with him.
Wait, that's a thing? That's a real thing that's happened?
That's a real thing that's happened, yeah.
Okay.
Spirit possessed things are basically, magical AIs.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy that. Here's an interesting notion that just went away. This is an interesting idea from Jay Gray, who says, I often try to think about what ancient culture would look like if they were a modernized culture in the setting, then make tech and stuff based on that. Oh, sure. That's kind of a thing. Like if X would have won the war, or if the world was, if the, Egyptians, took over the earth or something, I love that.
Well, there's also just introducing certain elements of modern technology into other time periods or cultures. If the notion of instantaneous communication, existed in the Age of Sail, it certainly would have made controlling the colonies on the other side of an ocean a lot easier. If you had moment to the moment information about what was going on.
I feel like Doctor Who has done this a couple times, but I love the notion of, we've kind of got this trope of, if people in the past were exposed to this technology, they would go crazy, but the fact that when they're exposed to it, they're like, I get it, and I want it, and I'm taking it.
That's the thing is honestly, give people in the past a lot more credit.
I think so.
Yeah.
Paul mentions one trope I really love within the genre is a setting, day-to-day drama, like a slice of life in a fantastic world, and maybe weird high-tech future, but people still fall in love, go to work, make mistakes, and the mundane in a fantastic future tech kind of thing. That's fun.
Yeah. I do think ancient people would be fine with modern technology, but I do believe I would kill a medieval peasant with a one nacho burrito.
Yes. Yeah. No.
It's too much cheesiness for one lifetime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. Their systems are just not adapted for it.
No, they wouldn't have the teeth for it. Yeah. Hanover says people have always been exposed to mind-blowing tech. The first time someone tried a rock stick. Yeah, that's true. Tied a rock to a stick. People were like, what? Yeah, their minds were literally blown. Like, ouch. That hurts. If we all still use Betamax, that's a future that I'd want to see. Yeah. Isn't Betamax the big discs? The big silver?
I thought they were
VHS. That's laser discs.
Oh, laser discs. Gotcha. Yep. Raymond Stegman says, we almost forgot to mention one of the most famous cyborgs in science fiction, Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Yep.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And that's a setting where the cybernetics are sort of incidental to everything else rather than front and center, like in a cyberpunk setting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nate says, what if the Black Plague was a cyber plague that was sent back in time to destroy mankind? Oh yeah, that's a
Sure.
common, not common, but a fun sort of trope of we're coming back to destroy it.
Well, that's right, and that's always a classic time travel story.
Terminator
Is
style.
like,
Yeah.
oops, we accidentally kicked off the Black Plague.
Right. Oops, all Arnold's. Yeah.
My bad.
There were cyborgs all over the black hole. Was
Mhm.
that a movie? Is that what we're talking about? Black Hole, the movie?
Disney movie.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I remember
There's
there
a
being
Disney movie called The Black Hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Again,
with a
before your time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that I had the soundtrack on the little red striped little record player.
Yep.
Let's see. Betamax was the video format that lost. Yeah. History. Oh, what if it's like all the lost technology that someone has taken and created something out of to get revenge on,
Mm-hmm.
the normal tech.
That would be a fun theme for a weird villain.
Yeah, 8-track. Let's see here.
Do we have a villain that uses a bunch of old technology? I feel like we have something like that.
We have what's his name? The Mad Machinist.
Yes,
who is
that's right.
sort of an old timey tech guy.
I'll be honest, can't lie, guys. I cannot get out of my head seeing Alex, what he would choose as his armor as Daedalus in an M&M LARP.
Oh, I'd go
Right.
out. I'd find some way to make.
Oh, yeah,
decent
yeah.
cosplay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just
Go full power armor.
Yeah.
Nice helmet.
Is his armor kind of bronzy?
I'm just gonna wear the bronze helmet and the Daedalus
course.
boxers. Actually, that's my outfit.
I forgot about that. You too can get a pair of Daedalus boxers in the
Deuce mentions that Ash from Evil Dead could be a cyborg with his chainsaw hand, and I'm living for that.
Yeah.
Daedalus boxers.
This is my boomstick.
There they are. And here I'll drop a link for folks to pick up their own pair of Daedalus panties. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm. They're very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this. Some Good Soup says a cybernetic reaper who's only limited to dead technology. Yeah. Liquid crystal display. Let's see. Did you know that Flash Gordon was a comic that
Cathode ray
came out
tubes.
before Batman? Yeah. Oh, cathode ray tube. That's good. That's really good. Why does it give me some Metropolis vibes?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I really just want a bunch of other villains to walk into the lair of this person for the mission debrief, and they have an overhead projector and wet erase markers.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely. One of those really huge TVs that were like projector TVs, but they were all enclosed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the worst. That you had to watch straight on. You couldn't look to the left. You couldn't be on the side.
Folks who enjoy that stuff will definitely love the Edison villains from Valiant as well, who are all basically like that.
I hate them so much.
Oh, really? How come?
Because they're all a collection of weird science, like really terrible mad scientists, and I mean terrible in that they're all bad at it, for the most part.
I love it. Okay,
but they all think they're amazing at it.
Yes, but they all think they're amazing at it.
Well, that's the best kind of villain.
This is me, Microfiche. You can make a whole team of villains based on.
Are they is there really someone named Microfiche? Or
no, but there is a guy who's all about Betamax. So who's like an 80s cyborg.
All right, let's we're almost out of time, but let's think about sort of these old timey tech. So we got Microfiche, we've got cathode ray tube.
I am the cathode ray.
Cathode ray, is that how you say that?
Big light bulb.
Right. It takes a while for him to warm up, but man, then he's dangerous.
That's right. That's right. I also think, remember those flash cubes that you used to put on old cameras?
Yep.
And then
I do.
You go and then it would be done, and you have to replace it
Yep.
with another one. I love that.
Right?
Cannot
Great,
stop the Walkman.
limited use dazzle attack.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, what do they call those CD? Were those called Walkman too? Where you couldn't really walk?
I think Walkman was a brand.
Yeah,
Yes.
but they also had the CD
Walkman
version.
started out with cassettes. The Discman was
Discman,
the
that's what I'm thinking
CD
of.
version.
Yeah, Discman, who you really couldn't walk anywhere because your CD would skip. Transistor, sure. Warhammer 40K. Yeah,
I think the problem with bringing up Warhammer 40K is that's not a near future cyber tech. It's 40,000 years in the future.
Let's see, punch cards, reel-to-reel computers. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now we're getting to very old tech.
Mhm.
Oh, Cy Borgman from Harley Quinn. No, I don't think anyone mentioned that, Doc.
Oh yeah, Cyborgman. I love Cy. I just put that together that his name was a pun.
Just now?
I've never seen it spelled out. I always thought it was Sai, S-A-I, or S.
Well, look at that.
I think it was Bergman.
We learned something today.
We really have. You got a little wrinkle for your brain too. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, guys, we are in the waning moments of this portion of the program. Don't anybody go anywhere because we're going to be getting our friend Devious in here with some what's in the tank. I do realize that I probably didn't give Devious the link, which would mean
that should probably be a good idea.
But Devious, it is the same link as last time, but I'll get you. So how about we do this though? Steve, what's going on in the Steve Kenson cinematic universe?
Oh gosh. Things I can't talk about mostly.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other stuff. I know that the remainder of the time travel trilogy adventures are in with production. And so folks should be seeing parts 2 and 3 of that series relatively in the near future, as it were.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the key thing right at the moment. I've got a bunch of other fantasy age and age system things in the queue as well that folks will hopefully be seeing in the also near future. But otherwise, I've just had my head down working on stuff in the further future,
right?
As far as that goes.
Right.
Future.
Yeah, and we've also got some things coming up, of course, in the tank. All that stuff is up on the calendars there.
Oh yeah, and the survey for the next M&M mix-up is up in the tank.
Oh yeah.
I am going to do that as a team-up story instead. So part of the survey is what hero team the characters are going to team up with, and where they're going to go when they do. So
very much love that. Squire has a question for you, Alex, and it's I had a question for Alex. Is Amina Hike from the Lost Library wearing a hijab, or is that desert wear? I plan on adding her to the first Chrono Crisis.
It is intended to be a hijab.
Okay. Lovely. Paul says to love.
She's such a cool character. I love her. She has a magical cybernetic eye, actually. Weirdly
yes, indeed.
Very cool.
She messed with an artifact she wasn't supposed to mess with, and now she's got a golden eyeball that shoots sunlight.
One of the things I love about what we do here, friends, is that right about now is when the chat is just absolutely hit their zenith. Like they are just all over the place with incredible creative stuff. It's one of my favorite things to watch. Alex, what else is going on in your world?
On Wednesday, I have the season finale of Bringing Dark in the Multiverse of the Master Mage, where we are going to go and try to take the Nerian Nexus back from Anti-Eldritch, and we'll see how that goes.
Yay. I like it.
Maybe I won't maim any more of my player characters.
Oh, come on. Don't talk like
maybe.
that. You'll do it. You'll be fine.
What plans for Untold Stories projects? Any chance I use a team from Super Team Handbook? I did use the Fair Book 4 in one of our seasons.
The what? Who? When?
The Fairyburg 4. They're 4 heroes from the Super Team Handbook. They made an appearance in one of my streams. I'll have to check to see what other teams from that book I can pull in.
Actually, I have 2 teams from Super Team Handbook in the current mix-up poll. the Shadow Knights and Magnaforce. So
I love
wow.
the Shadow
vote for your favorites.
You're making people pick between Magnaforce and the Shadow Knights?
Yes, of course I am.
You're a monster.
I love it. Let's see. Nate says, so Troy, I sent you a link to your email that has sounds for the tank. Okay. I'll have to look for that. I'm not sure I've seen it. But yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, look at the calendar, friends. We've got a lot of good things coming, for folks who are members of the Cape and Cow Club. Did I get it wrong? Is it Cape?
No, that was right. The Cape and Cloud.
No,
Thank
you got
you.
it right. Actually,
I don't know what I mean, like the Owl and Dog Club, and we all voted on it. Like anyway, so yeah, the Cape and Cow Club, which is it's just $8 a month, and you get all kinds of really good stuff. You get some extra special time hanging out with these two guys. We've got a workshop that we're working on that is just out of this world. We've got stat blocks that drop every month or every other week. You get 2. I mean, you get 4 by the end of the month. We've also got dev chats. What else do we have? We have field trips.
We have workshops. I'm almost done with the outline for the Pinewood project.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Should have that to share.
That'll be exciting to see.
Absolutely. And Paul, I want to thank you for bringing up, hey, we would love a calendar, because that is important, and it's very it was very helpful. And that's just what the think tank is all about. Just ideas, sharing ideas, getting things, moving things in the right direction, and having so much fun. So so you better get in on that. Lots of good stuff happening. And it's a growing membership every week. We've got new people who are coming in, bringing great ideas. And also, you don't have to come in and rewrite history, and you can come in and just enjoy the stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Troy,
Yes.
I do want to also say, if anybody's going to be in Michigan in November, I will be running some games at a convention called Yukon up there.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You've been there before, right?
Yes.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely awesome. And we should make some hay out of that. Make sure people know that you're there. And because Mutants and Masterminds fans are everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be playing in some M&M games up there too. I'm doing.
Hey, I love it.
Nice.
Taking some
Love
time.
it. Oh, hey, I do want to make a quick sort of adjustment for everybody who is in the Cape and Cow Club. We're going to change the live actual plays. We're not going to do them every month. It's too much. It's far too much. So we're going to do them. What do we say, quarterly, or we said?
I'm not sure we decided. But
I don't. Maybe we didn't decide, but it will be. I really wish that we were going to PAX U. PAX Unplugged is.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, it's kind of on the list in some ways, but yeah, we won't be there. But we hope that some Mutants and Masterminds folks will get together, hang out, and have fun, and be there, and rep for us. That would be great. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. This is a good convo, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
DuckTales. Thanks. I'm gonna have that in my head all day, Raymond. So here I'm gonna have you sit through a little quick break, a video break, if you will. Talking about our big backer kit for the Expanse RPG Transport Union Edition. And I don't know, this voiceover guy is just a true talent. We really need to know who he is.
Phenomenon.
Yeah, absolutely. Nameless came in the dark of night.
They must have disembodied.
Yeah, he's disembodied almost.
Possibly both.
A strange mist appeared in the studio.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. And stay tuned, friends. We're going to dive into what's in the tank with old Devioushearts and myself. Bye. Welcome to your next operation, the Expanse role-playing game Transport Union Edition. Based on our intel, this is nothing less than a game changer. We're equipping ourselves with a brand new core rulebook packed with everything needed to navigate the dangers ahead. With 3 new supplements come 2 new sets of dice. And yes, we can confirm gaming minis for the Expanse RPG. And for the new folks, welcome aboard. The Expanse RPG runs on the stunt-powered adventure game engine. It's fast, easy to learn, and prime for action. Veterans, this edition integrates updates with all your past operations. The difference is more character options, more ships, more equipment, backgrounds, adversaries, and even more still. All of this takes place between the 6th and 7th novels for The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. We've identified 2 mission profiles: Free Navy Conflict and Demon's Gambit, a deep dive into the Transport Union era. And if it's more depth you seek, the Crew Companion is your go-to. It's a player's guide offering more character options and deeper insights into the universe of The Expanse and your place within it. And for the first time, official miniatures for The Expanse RPG. We partnered with War Games Atlantic to bring you 2 sets of miniatures, a set for the crew and another for spaceships. Your crew, your ships in the palm of your hand. Back The Expanse RPG Transport Union Edition today.
What's in the tank?
What is in the tank? We should probably play it again.
Maybe. Anyway, that's why I no longer wear a corduroy thong. It's the chafing, Troy. It's the
Yeah,
chafing.
and also the
Are we
noise.
live yet?
Zip,
Oh my
zip.
God.
No, we're not live yet. No.
Okay, good.
They
good.
won't hear
Anyway,
this.
yeah,
Don't worry
definitely
about
the chafing is
Yeah, and this is
something.
zip, zip as you're walking around.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
really weird.
sure.
Oh, wait,
you
no,
can
we are
start
live. Sorry, wait,
campfires.
we're live.
Oh my God. Oh, but
Hey,
anyway, hi
friend.
everyone.
How are you?
There's no business like okay, that was last week. Anyway, hi.
Yes, it is What's in the Tank, and you and I sit and share news about what's in the tank. Now, first of all, what is the tank? Well,
The tank is the go. Sorry.
You do.
No, it's your go.
No, go.
Atomic Think Tank. It is the
it.
official Green Ronin website where you can go learn all about all of Green Ronin's products, everything from age products. There's Modern Age, Dragon Age, Fantasy Age, Age with the age.
Aged people, and
Exactly. I mean, it's like an old folks home sometimes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's okay. We just roll them into the corner. They don't eat much.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, you also, Cthulhu Awakens and the Mighty Expanse.
That's
Oh
right.
man, the big thing you just saw information about. It's live. It's active. You need to. It's a fantastic game. You need to get into it. But my game, of course, my favorite game of all time, of course, is Mutants and Masterminds, and that is what I focus my sole attention on.
You know what the tank is? It's all of that and more. It's a community hub where you can get together and you get to create, you get to participate, you get to read. There's a space for you if you are, let's say you're somebody who likes to really hang out in the background. You don't really want to do a bunch of crazy stuff. You want to just lurk. Well, we've got space for you. Maybe you're somebody who really wants to get involved. Like you want to create a whole new world. You want to find people to collaborate with. You want to create new villains, new heroes. You want to rewrite history. You want to do all kinds of good stuff. There's a spot for you too. And we do a bunch of weird stuff as well. Like just yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? I posted a call for voice actors.
I believe it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. I will go look.
Yeah. I'm going to, and so it's. I won't get too much into it because I want to make sure that there's a little fun bit of surprise in all this. But there are opportunities to engage on some fun, interesting, creative projects. And if you love TTRPGs, you love superheroes, you love all the things that Green Ronin has to bring, plus just access to really fun, engaging community initiatives. It's pretty exciting. I'm pretty stoked about it. And I think you will be too once you hear what's actually in the tank.
Absolutely. And it's a calling all voice actors did 2 days ago, actually.
Okay.
But basically, if you do funny voices or if you've got a good speaking voice, definitely try it out. I mean, I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah, it could be a bad one too. Like
you might even be good enough to do like like that guy who did the Expanse promo. That was amazing. I don't know who that guy was.
I think he's far too expensive. I'm imagining just by the quality.
Who was that masked man?
I don't even know. I wish we knew. I wish we knew.
Yeah.
Some Good Soup says, Sub Devious. I had an awesome conversation with my parents about Filipino superheroes a few days ago. I really like Captain Barbell and Pedro Penduko.
Induco.
I'm thinking of making my own at some point. I'd love to see that.
Let's do it. Let's get everything. Let's collaborate. Let's create basically a whole thing like we did with Ecuador. We can do that now with the Philippines and
I love
other
that.
locations as well.
I love it. Let me see here. David Bullock says, you must be wearing it wrong if it's making noise. I think he's talking about the corduroy.
I tried it backwards, forwards, inside out, outside in. I just can't get the hang of it.
No, it's just always zip, zip, zip. I think it's just the speed walking all around, the town.
I know. It's probably, maybe if I took it a little slower, might not be so bad.
Now I say run faster, don't run at all. Okay. What's in the tank?
Well, I know this is almost still kind of somewhat new in the M&M Commons is the MuMaMo Library. We've got 2021, 2020, 2021, and 2022. There's not much in 2020. That's when you guys just started it actually in December.
Yeah, there's a few hidden episodes that will not see the light.
They're hidden. I couldn't find it, but then again, I was only looking at YouTube, and I hear the place to look for it might be Facebook.
No,
so I'm gonna dig into that. Oh, where are they?
No, they're probably on Facebook, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to get you off the scent. No,
no.
Thank you for doing that, my friend. The fact that we've got, the MuMaMo Library, that you sat and listened to them at, listen to Steve and Crystal and I and Alex and
double speed.
Wow. Yeah, because there was a good time where there was a portion of time where it was Steve, Alex, Crystal, and I.
Oh yeah,
so much fun. Absolutely. I mean, listen, everybody's fun. But yeah, I started to kind of poke around in the archives. I'm like, we did do that. What a great topic that was. Good stuff.
Oh yeah. There was actually one on Cyberpunk that I think Crystal was in on. I think that's in the 2022, either 2022 or 2021. I've got to go look. But yeah, definitely worth a re-listen to as well.
Yeah.
We've got a number of things in the Freedom City Library, and originally Jay Gray put his article in the M&M Commons, but because it's more about the game, I moved it over into the Freedom City Library.
Hey,
he has this great conversation on zones and using zones for combat rather than using like map coordinates, like moving a certain number of squares, basically breaking it into a different idea about using zones for combat.
I sure love that. That's cool.
Yeah, I've got different articles up there myself. Role play, which should you use? Whether you should rely solely on role play, or if you should just let somebody roll for seeing how well they persuade, or use a combination thereof. I like to use a combination.
Okay. Yeah.
I like to use a combination, but there are some people who are socially awkward who don't feel quite comfortable enough yet, but they would like to play somebody who has a good persuasion skill and they want to rely more on role. It's all about that.
I will say one of the keys that unlocked comfortable like role play for me is, I mean, like it's fun and all, but when I realized I can just say, hey, he does the thing like that really well. Like that's the thing that he did. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I love it.
I got another thing on roles and stakes, when to roll and when not to roll.
Okay.
It kind of went back to what Alex was saying, if there's not anything at stake for the roll, there's no real reason to roll, then you shouldn't bother rolling. You need to get on with the game, get on with the flow of the game, and help that out.
Well, I find that you got to know when to roll them and know
when to hold them. That's right.
Know when to
walk away and know when to run.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I also did the thing on dynamic tension, the ebb and flow of tension in the game, basically how not to make it all hyped up tension all the time. You're not going to be able to get a good flow and keep tension going all the time. So you do need to take little breaks in there, and just basically different way to manage that.
Something that I'm reminded of, the Atomic Think Tank is a master class in storytelling.
Okay.
You know what I
I
mean?
certainly.
It's where
Mhm.
where do you get an opportunity to sit and sort of not just like can I talk good, but all of the like finer points of storytelling, how to how to manage tension so that it's not sort of overwhelming and burning people out, and all of these tools and tricks and also the characters and the venues to kind of act out sort of wonderful stories. I mean, honestly, it's pretty potent stuff. Come in for that alone, but go on. Sorry.
Oh, no worries at all. But I also did an article on building a super city, creating a living,
Ooh,
breathing urban setting for your campaign. And I did kind of a follow up with Chicago Earth Prime question mark. So we're kind of working through a collaborative thing. Me, Paul Rua, a couple other people are digging in and basically trying to build out Chicago as an Earth Prime location. I think there's like 3 paragraphs in the Earth Prime book. We're trying to build off of that and build off of also what's available for information about Chicago in wikis and things like that.
And now
But
you're of
Paul,
course talking Chicago the musical.
exactly.
Hmm.
He had it coming. He had it coming.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
only had himself to blame. Sorry.
Isn't that
Um,
they both grab forward the gun, that one? Is that
yes.
Chicago?
If
I
you'd
love
have
it.
been there, if you'd have seen it, I guess if you
See,
would have done
theater
the
nerds. I
same.
knew it. I knew
I
it. I
know I
smelled
am definitely. But
it.
also, Paul Rua did a great city building template to
Ooh,
basically help other people get their cities together. Great ideas there. Um, for the AEGIS files, we only had one actual entry this month. I
okay.
think that Steinbrewer and Chris Davies were on vacation, and God knows they've earned it. They worked awfully hard,
Well,
and
now that they
Jack.
are, yeah.
Oh,
Are they
yes,
like,
now that they are the national Aegis directors
yeah,
with
yeah.
numerous entries, over 50 each a piece, well
Phenomenal.
into the 60s and 70s, actually.
Nice.
Um, but Jack Kellum of Gods and Game Masters fame,
Oh, yeah. I think it's
yeah,
pronounced yuck. Yuck.
yeah,
It's a silent J.
there you go. Jack Kellum put in Hyperia, daughter of Helios and Perse.
I
And
saw that.
yes, it's a great little article and a great little character. Um, Coming up in the news, of course, RC Beeler still needing help. You can still contribute to the GoFundMe that they have.
Listen, we love that
And
guy, and yeah.
oh yeah, man. I mean, not to mention, go check out Masks and Mayhem
Ah,
on YouTube.
yes.
Also on his website as well. Definitely. I think he's a great member of the community, and we need to help him out now that he's had a
Oh,
tragic
yeah.
fire. I still do not
He's all right.
know. I do not know the situation yet about Prince Zuko, their missing kitty cat. I am still hoping and praying the kitty cat comes back. We also have the same link for Owen
I'm
Casey
laughing.
Stevens.
I'm not laughing at the cat. Sorry about that.
Right. No. But
I'm laughing at it's Gods and Game Master says it is not silent.
yes, it
Talking
is
about the
not
J.
silence.
Yeah.
What? It's not silent, Yuck?
No.
Oh,
No.
or it's French. It's pronounced as a Y, right?
Yes. Yuck. Yeah.
Oh, yuck. There
Yeah.
you go.
There you go.
But Owen Casey Stevens has beaten cancer, but he now has still a bill. There is a big package on Drive Through RPG available called The Beacons Are Lit, that if you purchase it, the proceeds go to him to help pay him his bills. But I also put in the GoFundMe link directly to his
Nice.
GoFundMe for paying bills.
Yeah.
If you want to follow that, if you go look in right now and What's in the Tank, last one to come out on the 29th, you'll find it there.
Yeah. Real
And
quick, just a thing. Don't
yes,
feel
sir.
like you need $5. That's enough. Small dollar donations help.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Do what you can.
Yeah.
For the featured articles, I mentioned about the zones
Yeah.
that Jay Gray put in there, and I just did a little breakdown of it. How you have attacking zones, contesting zones, zone thresholds, just kind of like summarizes, but it's better to read the whole article that Jay put in himself. Great idea. I really like the thought processes behind it. He originally did it for Dragon Age, but been adapted, a little bit for Mutants and Masterminds. So I'm very much behind that. And building a city, I put all the little things about building a city under one section there. Flow of the game, dynamic tension, roles and stakes, role plays, and I did the featured stat block, of course, for Hyperia, daughter of Helios and
Nice.
Perse. She is a young Olympian goddess, daughter of Helios, the Titan sun god, and Perse, a sea nymph. She's inherited her father's strength, speed, ability to fly, and solar powers, but shows no connection with her mother's sea elements. Only a few hundred years old. She's a youngin'.
Only
She's
a few hundred. Yeah.
Yeah, only a few. She is inexperienced in the mortal world, where she has recently been sent to learn humility. I guess like
Oh.
the the whole Thor thing, where he was
No,
sent
why
to
does
Earth.
Earth have to be the place where we teach your demigods how to human?
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on.
I mean, send
Come
them
on.
somewhere else. I mean, geez. But tasked by her father to promote Greek pantheon, she is not particularly interested in proselytizing, and she's a friend
Mhm.
with Megan. And if anybody's seen the Jack Kellum's games, Megan is Thor's daughter,
I'm gonna
carries
catch up
around
on
I believe a big club or a hammer. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember
Mm.
offhand. Jack, remind me if you can. Anyway, get in the tank. That's the theme. Get in the tank.
Get in it.
If you got some feelings on the way a Mutants Masterminds game could be run, get in the tank. Tell us. Have some
Yeah.
things about you found helpful in running a game or making a character for Mutants Masterminds. Get in the tank and share with us, and have some awesome character to share, or vehicles or base stats. Get in the tank and show us. Basically, get in the tank.
The club is Thrudstock, the Mace of Odin.
Oh, there you go. Thruds. I love that name too.
Thrudstock. That's evocative.
Thrudstock.
Yeah, I like it. Get tanked.
Get tanked.
Get tanked, Jeb. You
But another
tankers. Yeah.
great thing that's up in the tank right now, you put up yourself the Mutants Masterminds Monday Master Calendar.
That's
You can go
right.
sync up with it. Basically, it'll put it in for Google Calendars for you. You can take
And
a
if
look.
you, and when I change it, you'll get a note that says this has been changed.
It'll be updated for you. Those
Yeah.
who are in the Cape and Cowl Club, you put in the Cape and Cowl calendar of
I
events.
sure did. I love
Also
this
a great
too.
way to keep updated. And there's also something special you put in recently.
Oh, look at that. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
We need a hero point.
I want all of my hero points to have that face looking at me.
Don't you? I mean, it's sort of like a you get this hero
You
point kind of look. Yeah.
get this hero point.
I
You
love it. Yeah.
get this
I
hero point.
love it.
Absolutely. But that's not all we have this week, Troy.
what do we have?
We have a new challenge.
A new what?
A new challenge.
Oh, I thought you said Valange. I was like,
No.
what's a
No.
Valange?
I
Okay,
thought you
yeah.
said I didn't say nude challenge.
Oh, a nude Valange.
That's later, and there has to be a lot more alcohol in me. A new challenge, a dream, a team, and a theme challenge. We want you
Sweet.
to make a dream team. You have to
Okay.
create a team of 2 or more characters in the AEGIS Files, come up with a reason that they work together or have a common goal,
Ooh.
and make sure they have assigned roles in the team from the Super Team Handbook. And
Love
extra
it.
credit for stat blocks in the AEGIS Files makes them eligible for a double entry, counting as 2 entries when they go for the random roll to check who wins.
And when you win, what do you win?
Well, what you win is a PDF from the Green Ronin store, a PDF of your choice.
Of your choice? You get to just
Of
go
your
on a shopping
choice.
spree for one PDF of your choice? That is
That's
amazing.
right, sir. I know. Such a deal.
You know what?
Now-
One time when somebody picked what they wanted,
Mhm.
they picked the Mutants and Masterminds Mega Bundle.
Oh, that's big. That's got
that was like all of them. Yeah. I mean, like that,
first edition,
all of the past
second
stuff.
edition.
I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
what an incredible thing. So, I mean, I'm just saying that's a pretty phenomenal thing and what a fun challenge. Also, real quick,
Mhm.
Some Good Soup says, I got to know if you've got an article about making a backstory more efficiently, like making it more clear, concise, and not bloated. No, I don't know that we have that, do we?
I don't believe we do, but
It's a good
that could be a good article I could get together probably. It'd take
Yeah,
a
I
little
love it.
while.
I love it.
All
I
right.
do love that you are able to really do sort of articles on demand. I mean, you work on it and you
Nah.
kind of put it all together, but yeah, people are like, well, what about this? And then you put something amazing together.
Well, a lot of times they ask for something that I already have. I mean, I
Mhm.
wrote a lot of stuff prior to being enrolled in the think tank trying to do basically a lot of what Jason Alexander was putting together, and I was thinking of putting together a book, but I could never kind of cohesively put everything together in my mind well enough to make a full book, I thought. So I just, when I had this opportunity, I just was like, oh, okay, well, I can break that down into an article on this, an article on that. And a lot of, I mean, I've gone through about half of what I have already, and there's still like about half more of what I still have, and about half of that is like completely unfinished.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that you've also got folks like Paul, you've got folks like, you know, the other gentlemen who have submitted articles, and you are all bouncing off each other, and sort of the ideas are sort of spawning other articles and further elaborations on aspects of, I mean, it's just incredible. So yeah, what a great topic, some good soup. And even Paul says some good soup. That sounds like a great idea. Definitely something I might want to look into. I love it. Now, David Bullock says something. I'm going to say something, and I don't want us to elaborate or make any kind of noises other than annual. Annual. Yeah.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, me too. Hey, are we? I don't want to rush you, but I wanted you to go visit a certain particular place.
Where do you want me to?
I want you to head over to Of Gods and Monsters, or GMs and Monsters. Sorry.
You mean Of Gods and Game Masters?
Game Masters.
Sure, I can do that for you.
J'accuse. Yeah.
Gods and Game Masters. Give me just one moment.
You bet. Let's see. Some good soup says I also still need to remember what the article with making a signature MOV moves for the character. Oh, what is an MOV?
I'm thinking move.
Is it moves, or is it just
move maneuver? Or because I was actually thinking of doing an article. There was a Street Fighter role-playing game not long ago where they had different maneuvers and moves that were unique to the players themselves, unique to the characters rather, and they weren't like powers per se. They were just like unique moves that you could do with your powers. So, you know, that's kind of what I was imagining breaking down and doing, just like solid maneuvers.
So here's I want to really focus on this, because it's part of the tank, it's part of Mutants and Masterminds, but it's a little outside of the it's the third party publishers. Now, you know that we have the Superpowered by M&M license, and that means that folks can create Mutants and Masterminds content and sell it themselves on things like Drive-Thru-RPG. And it is Of Gods and Game Masters is one of those third-party publishers. We've got some other folks too, but I want to focus on Of Gods and Game Masters right now. If you scroll down a bit, or if is it the feed? I want to get to the releases. If you head to the tank, you'll be able to check out all of this stuff. These are, of course, articles and things, but there's actually a release that is.
He puts all his characters in here. Here is one of the releases for his characters that he has available up on Drive-Thru-RPG, I believe. And also, let's see, he is Danger Dossier.
That's
Donnybrook.
Yes. Yeah. There it is.
There it is in its glory. Yeah. It's available. Drive-Thru-RPG. Get out there, buy it up. But also, you know what? He's got a Patreon, and he's got a Twitch stream. And I would just like to say that I'm a fan. On Wednesday nights, just intelligent, thought-provoking insights into creating game worlds. He's got this whole thing he does with world building, and I darn it, I missed it Sunday.
Yeah, we wanted to show off all of the stuff. So yeah, I don't want you to think we didn't know where your stuff was, but we wanted to show off all the articles and just a general sort of get people over into your space talking to you about all the good stuff that you're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, and this is Kairu the Sea Dragon, also in Danger Dossier, also available in Drive-Thru-RPG.
Yeah.
Another great character, great background available.
I believe each one of these are $49.95. Right?
I don't think they're quite that expensive, actually. I think
are they on sale? $35.85.
I can find out.
Or you just click in their link right there in the actual thing.
Well, that would be smart, wouldn't it? If
I
there
think
was, I
any good
could
business,
just.
any good business guy would
Oh,
do
well, that's
that.
Atomic Think Tank. One moment. Oh, please.
Would please. I keep trying to scroll.
There it
There we
is.
go.
Game
Yeah.
Master Sword Drive-Through RPG. We'll go there.
Yeah.
There it is.
And they're on your website as well. Awesome. Yeah. And the price is actually
Price is actually
smaller?
$1.99. One.
It's such a bargain. You should buy.
Can you believe it?
You should buy two, one for yourself and one for mom.
Well, yeah, mom, we get her a nice little D20. Get her
Anyway,
the
Jack,
deluxe
we super dig your contribution to the tank, and I just wanted to just take a minute to stroll through so everyone can check it out and know that it comes. Well, it comes what's in the tank endorsed, and
absolutely,
that's the highest endorsement you can get. It's just above like a presidential pardon.
There's like the Pope, and then us.
Yes, yeah.
President,
if you're going
Pope,
up,
yeah,
well, it's like the Pope, and then we're on. Yeah, we're at the pinnacle. Yeah. All right.
Somewhere
awesome.
Around there.
Somewhere around there.
Absolutely. So anyway, I'm all glory to the Hypnotoad. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Love it.
Anyway.
Oh, hey, friends, if you are somebody who is a third-party publisher and you're hearing about the Think Tank and you've heard about the Think Tank and you're not sure if you want to be a part of it, oh, come on. Just come on. Come and hang out, have some fun, and you too can get your own space, your own place, your own way to share your good stuff. I'll carve out a little spot for you. It'll be yours to do with as you please. All kinds of attention, all good stuff, and it's fun too.
And you might even get a hero point. All glory to the hero point.
We do need a sound effect for that, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Woo.
Lots of great fun things coming here in the future. It's summer may be winding down, but stuff in the tank is just winding up.
This is when people are coming inside, so they're more prone to do things like role-playing games. So this is when we should start coming alive. Come on now.
That's
this
right.
Is it.
Some cozy adventures.
Season. Not to mention, spooky Halloween coming up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my favorite. Yeah. It's cuffing season in the tank, and by that we mean handcuffing.
There you go. Something
the villains
like that.
Or something. I don't know. I'll work on it.
Or the pink frilly kind.
Whatever you're into. I'm
not
just
yucking
saying,
your yums. It's all good.
No, yeah, maybe not so much. In the tabletop role play, or maybe it is. I don't even know. I'm not here to judge.
Role playing is a good thing. Whether that's Mutants and Masterminds or also the she wolf of the SS and the lonely POW. Either way,
I don't know what you just said, but I'm hoping that it's all right.
Oh, me too. Anyway, so
hey, wait, listen to this. You want to take us out?
That means we're getting ready to go. Farewell to you. Farewell to you.
Oh, I didn't know this song had a lyrics.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
I'm working on them still.
Hey, listen, we do love it. And we love you, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening. Remember, if you got questions or comments, or you want to say, hey, we love this, then you want to make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and leave a comment, not just in the live chat, but go ahead and jump over to the comment section underneath the video and say, listen, Mutants and Masterminds Monday changed my life. Now I'm tanked, or something, something fun like that.
Get in the tank.
Much love to you. Thank you so much for all the work you do on this stuff. It's phenomenal. You are much appreciated. And I think that's it.
Rock and roll. What comes next? Don't we say something like, bye-bye?
Goodbye now.